Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Finance Friday. My name is Coach Susan and I'm very, very happy to have you guys back here. Now, July was my birthday month. I turned 30 and I've been very, very excited. We are still celebrating. And for today's episode, I've really been reflecting on my journey and what I've been able to do and achieve as, a young professional, especially as someone who really grew up poor, who never had anyone to teach them about money. And I've really been reflecting on my journey and everything I've been able to do and achieve at this particular stage. And I've picked up quite a number of powerful and very valuable money lessons. So I thought that for today's episode, I'd share with you my most powerful, or rather the most powerful 10 money lessons that I have learned so far at the age of 30. And my hope is that as I share with you some of these nuggets that have really deeply impacted my financial journey, that you can pick a thing or two that you can apply or even use in your own personal finance journey. So if you'd like to find out what those powerful money lessons are, please keep watching. So 10 money lessons are quite a bit. I don't want this video to be so long, so I'm going to get straight into it. I put them down here so that I don't forget anything. Now, the first money lesson that I think has greatly impacted my journey and my life is that your background doesn't define how successful you will be with money. Only your mindset does. All right? Now, why do I say that? I think I made quite a number of people. I've been privileged in my nature of work as a personal finance coach. I have very personal conversations about people in terms of like their backgrounds and even in my own personal experience. And I've met quite a number of people who think that you're disadvantaged because of where you come from, or because of the kind of childhood you had, or because of the kind of school you went to. If you play victim for so long, one of the things that I've realized is that you will be so focused on creating excuses for yourself, playing victim. And when you do that, you miss so many opportunities. And it's not, you miss them because you can barely even see them because you're just focused on how underprivileged you are. In my own experience, I have found that mindset matters more. In terms of like your success with money, it's not about where you come from, it's about mindset. Because for me, to date, one of the most powerful things that I will always attest my growth and my success to has been the fact that I really took time to work on my mindset. Having grown up poor meant that I came into adulthood with such a scarcity mindset. I never used to think that I'm capable of earning enough. I never used to think that it would even be possible for me to have things like savings or investments or anything of the sort. So, but the moment I started working on my mindset and understanding that, it's all about what you know about money, how you actually apply that information, how you implement that information, not talking down on yourself and not playing victim for so long, and being ready and willing to jump on opportunities when they provide themselves. So if you're watching me and maybe you feel that for the longest time, either because of where you come from or experiences you've had in the past, and you feel like you're very, very underprivileged, you're looking at other kids and maybe you're thinking these are trust fund babies, maybe you think they went to the best of schools ever. Stop comparing. Comparison is the thief of joy. And as long as you're comparing, you're not moving, you're not focusing on your focus. So your background is just exactly that. It's at the back. It's your background. Work on your mindset, fix your mindset. That's the only thing, and that's the only way you can, clearly chart a way forward for yourself that has nothing to do with where you came from. Now, the second lesson is that money management is a skill, just like cooking or even learning an instrument. It is not for the elite few. If you can just learn how to use money as a tool, if you can just learn the principles of money management and the principles of wealth creation, and I've talked about this before, when I learned that it is, yes, it's simple but not easy, but there are 3 very simple strategies or rules of wealth creation, and that is make money, find a way to make money, find a way to keep that money, and then find a way to multiply that money, and you're on your way to begin to creating wealth. If you can just understand money as a tool, then you can begin to build wealth. A lot of us think that, money management is just for the elite few, that it's only for the people who are exposed or only for the people who are privileged. Guys, if today you committed that you're going to start learning how to play a piano, for example, 6 months down the line, with enough practice, with enough showing up, and with enough consistency, someone who couldn't play a piano 6 months ago could probably play in a church or even in a concert and will enjoy the music. Because why? Practice. If you don't know how to make chapati, or cook any kind of dish, with enough practice, dedication, and showing up, someone who couldn't make a decent meal can literally host a brunch or a lunch and cook very good food. Why is it that we struggle to imagine that money management and learning what to do with our money, for example, how to budget, how to track expenses, right? How to set goals, investment goals, financial goals. So many of us get stuck with, I don't know how to do it. What do you do when you don't know how to do something? Do you just sit and decide, let me just let it go. This is not for me. I don't know how to do it. No. We get into class or we get someone who's good at it and that person teaches us. I remember when I lost my job and I wanted to find something very quickly to help me make me money. I literally did not know how to do online writing, but I had people saying that they're making money doing online writing and transcribing. I went to someone who I knew was doing it and asked them if they could teach me. Do not give excuses that these things are for the elite few. Money management is a learned skill. It takes around 3 to 6 months to learn budgeting, to learn tracking your expenses. So this thing wasn't taught to you in school. If you're struggling, get into class and learn. It is a skill. Just like any other skill, you can learn money management and you can get good at it. The third money lesson, and this is huge, guys, is that a self-esteem, a low self-esteem and a negative self-image will keep you broke longer than anything else. Guys, I've learned this the hard way. One of my biggest struggles as a child, I don't even want to get into the details of it, but it has a lot to do with childhood trauma. And I grew up with a very low self-esteem and a very diminished self-image. So it's, a combination of not feeling like you're good enough, a combination of self-pity and almost like, and I think it's all those things. Having experience I remember in our area, as I told you guys, being like one of the poorest people living around there and people know you're poor. I remember being, sent home back for school fees and just so many other things. And then, watching other people's parents go to actual jobs. At that time when you're young, you're thinking, they go to an office job. But then as we are selling a very small shop that is almost shutting down because it even doesn't have stock and stuff like that. So many of those things kind of made me grow up with a very low self-esteem and low self-image. Why I think it keeps you broke is because you do not have self-confidence, because you do not know how to put yourself out there, because you do not know how to even advocate for yourself. Opportunities come, you see them, but you talk down on yourself and you're like, but I can't do this, or I can't speak in front of people, or I can't start a business, or why would I even think that, this promotion would be given to me? So you don't even apply for it. You don't fight for it. And I've found that really, honestly, will keep you broke, because a lot of what has gotten me to where I am today has a lot to do with confidence. I've been in rooms where I knew and I heard that people thought I was too young or too inexperienced to come in and maybe do a training. But I went in and did a training. I've found myself in rooms with very elite people, trust fund babies. And me, I'm coming, Javin from Zimmerman, and I've come to do, maybe a training of some sort. But I still came and did it. And the more I've worked on my self-esteem, the more I've worked on my self-image, I've built confidence for public speaking. Public speaking earns me money. I've built confidence for doing content on social media. That makes me money. I've built confidence to pitch myself and to tell companies or individuals that I have this company or this products and services that I offer. Having a positive self-image has given me the confidence to create digital products and digital courses. And even though I know that they're not the most perfect, I still go ahead and put my work out there. So if you do struggle with a negative self-image or a low self-esteem, that's something I've always encouraged people. You may think that it has nothing to do with money, but it has a lot to do with money, because as long as you're shrinking yourself always, as long as you're shy always, as long as you're not feeling good enough always, the kind of grit and resilience that is required for you to put your work out there, for you to get that exposure, for you to earn that money, you're not going to have it. So please, 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 that's something I've learned, and I'm so glad that at 30, as much as I'm still working on myself, it's something that I feel I've now started kind of like really getting good at, which has been a very confident person and believing in myself, believing in my worth, believing in what I do and the kind of contribution I give to my community. And I have seen that in itself has really opened a lot of opportunities for me to earn money. All right. The fourth money lesson that I've learned at 30 is that budgeting is for everyone. It doesn't matter how rich you are. It also does not matter how poor you are. I really, really used to think that budgeting was for people who had like money, okay? And I've met people who even think the opposite. Like for me, when I was really a low income earner, when I was employed during my employment, and this is one of the reasons why by the time I lost my job, I did not have any form of like financial security or savings, is because I used to look at my salary and just feel like this is too little to plan for, because my mindset was, I'm going to wait until I earn what I thought was significant enough for me to start intentionally planning and budgeting for. And then I've also met people who think that budgeting is for poor people. In other words, budgeting is for people who are currently struggling with their finances. So once you start earning enough, and the anxiety of like, I don't earn enough wears away. You know, when you're really not doing so well, you tend to kind of like want to follow every coin, and then you get a good job, you start earning triple, double what you used to earn, and now you relax and you start feeling, you know what? Like, I don't have to follow all my coins because now I'm doing so well. Both of these two mindsets are very, very toxic. What I've learned is that you must learn how to budget, and you must embrace budgeting regardless of your level of income. Because really, what is budgeting? Budgeting is not a poor people thing. Neither is budgeting a rich people thing. Budgeting is pretty much putting down an intentional spending plan and being able to answer the question, this money that I work so hard for, where would I want it to go? What would I want it to achieve for me? Especially for the people who are earning more, this is something I always, and I warn against, because I noticed even as my income started increasing, I really, really had to even get much, much better at budgeting, because it is so possible for you to earn way more than you've ever earned before, for you to double or triple your salary and still have nothing to do for it, to show for it, because of your mindset around budgeting. So budgeting is for everyone. Please don't feel too poor for budgeting, and don't feel too rich for budgeting. The fifth lesson that I've learned also is that you don't wait to get rich in order to invest. All right? You invest in order to get rich. Now, again, this is a back and forth, a conversation I had with myself at some point, and even a conversation that I have with some of my low to medium income earners. A lot of us are not investing because we think investing is for the rich. Severally, I've talked about bills and bonds. I've talked about pension planning or retirement planning. I've talked about money market funds. And I see a lot of people feeling that, like I have to get to a particular point, or I have to get to this particular level of income for me to actually start actively investing. In other words, you believe that you should get to a particular level of reach for investing to start making sense to you. This is one of the greatest lies of our generation today. And I learned that when in 2020, when I started my journey. As you guys know, I lost my job in 2019, and then the first maybe half of 2020, COVID, and just trying to get a footing. And then, of course, I started now earning from the online jobs as I was working to build my business. And I remember, because I knew exactly what it is to lose a job and not have an emergency fund and have loans and all of that, I decided that I was going to do a little bit every month towards at least two things. The first one was an emergency fund. You guys know I keep saying that is non-negotiable regardless of your level of income. And the second one was debt freedom, because I had so many loans. And let me tell you guys, now as we speak in 2024, it's close to 3 years and some months. I am bewildered at what I've been able to do with very little amounts of consistent money every month. Number one, in 2020, I had quite a bit of debt. I had mobile loans, and I had circle loans, and also a couple of personal loans. As we speak right now, I'm debt-free, completely debt-free. When I started my journey in 2020, I did not have savings, investments, nothing. And as we speak right now, 3 years and a few months later, I have a 9 months fully funded emergency fund. I have investments in bills, in bonds, in the stock market. I have foreign currency investments. Why am I saying this? When I look back, I cannot tell you that there came a season in my life where I got a huge lump sum amount of money that changed my life overnight. No. It was when I started doing online writing, the most I could do was 1,000 bob into my money market fund. I started doing the 1,000 bob. I didn't think, oh, this is too little money. What am I going to do with it? How is it going to change my life? That's not what I thought. Any little 500, 200, 2,000, 5,000 that I got, I sent towards my loans. And I slowly started crashing down my debt, right? So throughout this 3-year period, I cannot tell you that there's this one big payment or one big lump sum that came and turned my life around. It was small, consistent amounts every month that have gotten me here. And that's why I'm saying, so many of us underestimate the power of our little money. So many of us underestimate compound interest. So many of us underestimate the results or the impact of someone who is so focused on consistently putting aside something every month without fail and not looking down on what you would consider little coins. So please, stop waiting to get rich. If I waited until I got rich for me to start investing, I don't even think even right now I'd be investing, because I'm still doing quite a bit, building a business, trying to pay bills and build a family. I'm trying to handle black tax. Everything that was in my life 4 years ago is still here. All the challenges I was going through, I'm still going through them. But that resolve, that I'm not going to wait to become this, quintessential rich or to have money that I feel comfortable enough. It's a discipline. The same way we are forced to pay rent or otherwise we are going to be evicted is the same way I forced myself to start paying into my savings and investments. And now I'm very, very proud at 30 of the investment portfolio that I've been able to build. So please don't wait to get rich to invest. The 6th money lesson is that if you do not set clear intentions for your money, the world around you will find a purpose for your money. You guys know that, right? One of the most dangerous things for any person is a lack of financial goals and a lack of clear direction. Because what happens is that you're going to be swayed left, right, and center with every new wave. When your friend says, let's do this, you go. When influencers are being paid to tell you to buy this property or do this, you also swing that way. If you do not set very clear-cut instructions, ironclad intentions for what you want your money to do for you, your money will actually never benefit you. Let me give you guys an example. Have you guys ever wondered, for example, you maybe have been struggling with your budget, and then this particular month, someone very important in your family is either getting married or they have like baby showers, bridal showers, and you guys are contributing money. Or even someone is unwell and you're contributing money. Have you guys ever just wondered where the money suddenly comes from? Like ukweli ni utachanga. Like you will actually find the money for that particular endeavor, or that particular family event. And on another month where the commitment does not exist, if you can't even find that 3,000 to do anything else with. So it is so important for you to set, like if you have clear intentions, like again, as I told you, for me, I just set 2 when I started my journey, that no matter how little, I was going to put a bit into my emergency fund. No matter how little, I was going to pay a little towards my debt. Set clear intentions for your money. Stop walking around like someone. I always ask people, you work so hard. Like for me, when I got into business, this dawned on me so powerfully. I work so hard, guys, my God, like the business people who are watching me, please let me know in the comment section down below. Why do people tell us get, self-employed and you're going to, be in control of your time and you're going to work less? Absolutely not. I work way more now than I ever did during employment. And imagine when I was employed, I used to feel like we work long hours. Now I'm working sometimes on Saturdays, sometimes on Sunday, sometimes wee hours of the night I'm working. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm working because I'm thinking, do I need what do I need to strategize? Who do I owe what? How do I ensure consistency and sustainability of my business? Like you're always kind of like your mind is on overdrive. And so I literally had to sit myself down and ask myself, Susan, all these hours you're pulling, all this work you're doing to earn this money, this little or much money, what is your goal? Like we never ask ourselves, we never reward and we never think about the person who's even putting in the hours. So it's so important to set clear instructions or intentions for your money. Otherwise, the world around you, your brothers, your sisters, your family, they will find purpose for that money for you to use, okay? The 7th lesson, and this is so big. Please do not go to school to get a good grade just so that you can get a good job. Can we all just pause and let that sink in, especially for the young professionals who are currently going through it? For me, I believe that we go to school, and you should go to school, not so that you can just get a good grade so that you can be a good employee, but you should go to school so that you can learn new skills and so that you can learn how to learn new skills. This narrative for get a good, get A's or first class honors or your PhD so that you can get a good job. It's one of the biggest lies in today's generation. Yeah. So we want to go to school to acquire and learn skills so that you can actually learn, be able to monetize these skills with or without employment. Why I personally feel that this is one of the most important lessons I've learned in my 30s is that, guys, again, it's now maybe 4 years since 2019, since I lost my job. Had I just continued boxing myself in that employment box, like waiting for someone to hire me, waiting for someone to see my worth, waiting for someone to employ me, I don't know that I would have a job today, right? I literally had to look myself in the mirror with my entire economics and finance degree and knowing that, I had this ongoing course that I was doing for, financial analysis and management, and just accept that it's been months and months of me applying for jobs and absolutely no one will even, I kept just getting, we regret to inform you. And even for the few interviews that I attended, and I wasn't like at the entry level, so I had at least 4 years experience working in an investment fund. I had the papers, but I was still not getting jobs. So for me, I feel like at the age of 30 right now, one thing that I know for sure is that merely going to school and getting a good grade or getting good papers is not all that is needed, and it's not enough to get you earning, right? So what I always tell people is that please go to school and please get your A's. You guys know I keep bragging here all the time. I know I'm an A student. I was an A student and I've been an A student, but still I struggle to get a job. All right. We're still seeing doctors and engineers out here struggling to get jobs. And these are the smartest minds that we have. So I always tell people, whether you're going to go back to school, regardless, don't underestimate the power of being able to learn new skills and being able to literally use those skills in a way that would help you to or rather being able to monetize those skills with or without an employer. The skills I learned in school as an economics and finance student, I could use them in an office, but there were no opportunities for me to use them in an office. And look what I was able to do, or what I've been able to do with the skill by the grace of God, is that I'm creating content around the same issues, around the economy, around personal finance, and I've been able to monetize this skill without an employer. So please learn. If you're a young person listening to me right now, I mean, regardless of your age, let's start teaching yourself how to learn new skills, and then begin to invest even a little bit more time to see how you can begin to monetize some of those skills with or without an employer. This whole vibe of waiting for employers so that we can be able to monetize our skills has kept so many of us broke. So start opening up your minds, and especially if you're also a parent watching me, begin to open the minds of some of the children that we are raising, that, let's change the narrative. Just let them go to school, let them get A's, but not just so that they can be employed. Let them gain skills so that they can be able to monetize the skill. So whether they monetize it in employment or they monetize it outside of the employment, the most powerful thing is that you're able to gain a skill and that you know and learn how to monetize it with or without employment. Lesson number 8, still within the lines of employment, is never esteem employment more than a career. Employers come and go, like in my case, but your career is here to stay. So I always like to remind people, I think I see so many of us sometimes being willing to compromise our values, our health, our mental health, even our physical safety to keep an employer. Companies literally are the most lucrative companies today, and then tomorrow they shut down. Today you're the most valuable employee, and then tomorrow they let you go. Today you could even die, and even before your body gets cold, they've already announced for your position or replaced you. What am I saying? Please have, I think for me, I've learned so far to have values. And what wanaweza sema ni maringo, ama you know what, but to literally have values that you will not compromise for the sake of keeping an employment or being a favorite to a particular employer. I feel like our generation right now is some people have good employers, but a lot of people are just exploiting young, professionals because of the lack of job security and the lack of jobs. For me, I've always said, please focus. Understand there's a difference between employment and career. You can lose your job and you can lose employment, but please learn and figure out for yourself as early as possible what you want your career path to be. It doesn't have to be one thing, but really, really focus. And a career path is something you're good at, something you're passionate about, something you literally can foresee yourself doing even in your 40s, 50s. Something that can be monetized in and out of this country, in and out of that particular company. Never prioritize an employer over your own career. Employers come and go, but careers are here to stay. Now, the 9th money lesson that I've learned at the age of 30 is that there is no such thing as a person who is not meant for business. Okay? I want you to take this slide together with the other lie that you're supposed to go to school, get a good grade so that you can get a job, and combine them. I genuinely feel that this is just another false narrative that has been designed by just us, the society, to keep us and to keep some of us boxed or still locked up in that box of employment, when sometimes even that employment is literally nowhere to be found. So it's been 2-3 years, you have your papers, you have your maybe even undergrad, master's, PhD, and you're still struggling to get a job, but you remain fixated, right, on the whole narrative or the whole aspect that, najua Miss Kwangi mtu wa biashara. I've literally had arguments with people left, right, and center who are currently in the employment who keep telling me, Susan, I kid you not, I don't think I can hack employment. I don't think I'm I'm a business kind of a person. I think 5 years ago, had you told me that I would start and run a business for 4 years consistently, I also would not have bought it. I've always told people one of the most powerful things that I think has really helped me throughout my journey, up until my tiny little age at 30, has been to remain open-minded. Don't say I am not a business person. Thank God that you have employment if you do have. Do everything in your power to grow and climb that corporate ladder. But I always encourage people to remain open-minded. Business is literally just about learning, again, as we said, having a skill, monetizing that skill. And anyone can do business, no matter how extroverted they are, no matter how introverted they are. Just like we said that money management, for example, is a learned skill, the way you can learn cooking or an instrument. And that's genuinely what I have seen in my own experience and learned about business. It's a learned skill. Anyone can literally do it regardless of your temperament, regardless of your educational background, because business really, I've always told people, it's about looking around in your own environment and literally saying, there's a gap for this thing. Or people in my school love deras, for example. I'm not seeing someone selling deras. That's a gap you can close. Now digital is such a big thing. Maybe you have very good camera skills, iPhone shooting and editing skills. That's a gap you can fill. Maybe you're so good at cooking. You can either meal prep for people, or you can even do cookbooks and sell them. You don't need to be an extrovert or an introvert to even do that. I'm seeing people do such amazing things, like a friend of mine who's very, very good with kids is now doing child development consulting and just helping parents figure out their difficult kids. And she's getting paid for that. So I feel that I've always encouraged people, and I know when you're very fixated, it can be such a difficult place to come out of. But I feel like that is something I've learned, and I hope that someone can pick that up. Don't say I'm not a business person. Just remain open-minded and understand that if you ever find yourself in that position, don't stay so long saying, I'm gonna just wait for employment, and it's 7 years down the line, 5 years down the line, you're still not getting employed. Or just let your mind stay open to the possibility that you could monetize something you're very good at, or something that you're passionate about, and it could still make you money. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is business, all right? So anyone can do business, okay? And finally, at the age of 30, the most powerful lesson I've learned is that as a young person, the first and the best investment you will ever make is in yourself. Invest in upskilling. You guys know I'm passionate about that. Invest in learning demand-driven skills. Invest in networks. Invest in learning how to speak to people. Invest in learning how to advocate for yourself. Invest in hard work. Invest in learning resilience. These things will keep opening doors for you and opening money opportunities for you in your wealth creation journey. I think I am yet to think about a class that I've ever attended, whether physically or virtually. I'm yet to think of a church forum, because I've grown up in church. I attend a lot of personal development meetings, whether that is in church or even in social circles. I attend conferences and events. I'm yet to think of one that I attended that today I'm just feeling, that was a premium waste of my time and money. Everywhere I go that is, along or around the lines of self-growth, personal growth and development, I have greatly benefited from it. And I mean greatly because I see how me building on my confidence and my public speaking skills earns me money today. I see how me attending a class to learn social media marketing earns me money today. I see how me, upskilling and learning things like financial and wealth management makes me money today. And sometimes I feel like you may not be able to invest in treasury bills and bonds right now, maybe because of your money situation. You may not be the best stock market investor, but with the little that you have, especially as a young professional, if you can be able to invest in yourself, spend time being able to add value to your person, right? And, you know, maybe last year you were not able to do this thing. Now you're very good at it. Last year you were not so good at maybe you were just a newbie photographer or newbie chef, and you've really improved. All these things are literally, I feel like the money that we now need for investing in the big stuff, like the cars, the homes, the bills, bonds, and whatever, is actually gonna start from, have you invested in yourself? Have you empowered this person here to be able, right, to now become this money maker? Because I feel like once I poured into myself and I got skills and I got exposure, I've been able to use everything I now have to help me see opportunities for money making. And then now we take that money, grow and invest, and begin our wealth creation journey. So those are the 10 powerful money lessons that I've learned at the age of 30. Please let me know in the comment section which of these lessons resonated with you. If you're someone who's already in their early 30s or late 30s, I'm also curious to hear any kind of feedback or advice that you would tell to your younger self, your 30-year-old self. I'm very, very curious to also read some of your comments and recommendations and learn from you. And if you found anything that I shared useful, please remember that application makes all the difference all the time. So you can pick any one of those lessons, run with it, and you can get back to us in case any of them is successful. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you on the next episode of Finance Friday.